Hi, my name is Kiara Sanggaran, and today I'm going to be talking about the app called Bunpo. Bunpo is a language learning app that was developed to help English speakers learn how to speak Japanese. Bunpo in Japanese actually means grammar, so that will give you a clue to what's coming next. So just to give an overview of what I'm going to be discussing about today, I've decided to pick 3 literatures to review in relation to the Bunpo app. These literatures are the Mobile Assisted Language Learning, or MAL for short, Grammar Translation Method, and the Audiolingual Method. The last 2 are actually teaching methodologies that actually can be applied to this app, and the first one is a social theory. Mobile assisted language learning has been proven to encourage independent learning and has also been noted to boost motivation in students. This probably has to do with the fact that mobile assisted language learning has a bigger scope of possibilities in different styles of learning. Not only that, but it also covers many different types of levels. No matter what level you are at, there will be a level specifically tailored to you, whether you are a beginner, elementary, or even proficient. So the paper by Gangaiamaran and Pasupathi in 2017 actually created a form of classifying apps and their target audiences. So there are apps for primary learners and secondary learners and tertiary learners. However, the Bunpo app mostly focuses on the secondary and tertiary learners. As you can see hopefully below, the JLPT exam prep, the N1 to N5 exams are listed there on the Bunpo app. These are more targeted towards secondary high school learners and tertiary or professional learners. Of course, Bunpo also has alphabet and basic words for beginners. However, this may necessarily be more targeted towards older audiences. So on to the next one, we have the grammar translation method. So the strengths and weaknesses of the grammar translation method are obviously listed on the screen, but I will talk about them a little bit further. So the strengths of grammar translation method, or commonly known as the traditional method, was that the fact that using the learner's L1, and in my case English, to translate and also explain why certain grammars were used in the other language actually allows me to engage with the target language a bit more efficiently. The translation itself can be a good way to learn a second language, and it also teaches vocabulary and grammar structures quite effectively. What I really enjoy about the Bunpo app is that it uses a lot of grammar translation. I know that not all languages benefit from the grammar translation method, but I feel like this app has a right mixture of grammar translation and obviously the audiolingual method, which I'll talk about later on. So obviously there are a few weaknesses in the grammar translation method. That is, it is quite traditional and somewhat outdated. It lacks a lot of oral teaching and also has caused some students to become deaf mutism, which means they don't know how to speak. They just know how to read and write. And being too fixated with that can actually hinder the communication aspect that language is used for. Alright, let's move on to the audiolingual method. So I've had to move inside because the birds outside were way too noisy and kept cutting me off. So let's continue. So let's talk about the weaknesses first. As you can imagine, the audiolingual method is heavily reliant on students' repeating utterances and following teachers' utterances. It obviously has a huge neglect in writing. There's also actually little room for improvised speech, as everything is normally patterned and drilled out over time. So now let's compare this with the strengths. Obviously, speech is given #1 priority, that's actually just a given. However, the dialogue that they do teach is presented in a pattern form, allowing habits to be formed a lot easier, and it's actually often based in naturalistic conversations or common phrases that learners would be expected to learn and know. So, in conclusion, I believe that the app Bunpo is extremely useful for people who are trying to learn Japanese. I have actually begun to use this app personally for my own individual learning. The literature of MAL, grammar translation method, and the audiolingual method all work together to create an interactive app idea that incorporates the best elements of both teaching methods. I would love to recommend this app to all of my friends at uni who are studying for their JLPT test. Thank you.